All right, this was a mind fuck. Now, when Calvin Johnson retired from the Detroit Lions, he said that it was all concussions and injuries, and it just took a toll on his body. And when that happened, we were surprised because he played from 2007 to 2015. And although he had a Hall of Fame-worthy career, we wanted to see him in the biggest stages of them all. We wanted to see him at least win one playoff game. They won 0 when he was there. We wanted to see the relationship mature just that much further into becoming the best quarterback-wide receiver duo with Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson. And now there are new revelations, and he is receiving a shit ton of flack, and I really don't know if it's warranted. So here's what he said. And basically admitting what we all knew via Bleacher Report. I was stuck in my contract with Detroit, and they told me they would not release my contract, so I would have to come back to them. I didn't see the chance for them to win a Super Bowl at the time, and for the work I was putting in, it wasn't worth my time to keep on beating my head against the wall and not going anywhere. It's the definition of insanity. And then, via ESPN, asked again if playing for the Lions was the reason he retired. Johnson said yes, and the body. So not only was it the toll that it took on his body physically, but also mentally, because you're going into a team that hasn't won a playoff game since the early 90s. He went to 3 playoffs, didn't win 1. He had 3 different head coaches, and yet throughout this entire time, I believe when he was there, and I have the final number, he was 40 games under 500, 54-90. So just under 40 games under 500. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Yet there was also something else that came about. In 2016, he said this. He does not want to talk Lions too much just because the way our relationship ended. And then via ESPN one more time. He hinted this in an E60 interview on whether he would have played longer if the Lions were a playoff team. If we would have been a contender, it would have been harder to let go. So now here's where it's interesting. So Calvin, you just said that it was, at first, when he retired, the physical ailments and taking some prescription pills that were given to you by the team. And I still think that marijuana should be legal. It's something that won't be regulated because Roger Goodell is a diehard Republican who doesn't believe that players can benefit from the usage of medical marijuana. He just views it like Jeff Sessions does as a gateway drug and hates it. It's another rant for another day. But Calvin is going back and forth. He's seesawing. And that's the problem. If he would have came out initially and just said, dude, yeah, like, I hate losing. I hate losing. I want to be traded, or I'm going to retire. We could have been okay with that. But the initial shot that he fired was, yeah, you know, football's taking a toll on me, which we all accepted. My problem is you got to be transparent and you got to be honest. He's finally being honest, and I applaud him for that, and we'll always applaud athletes for being honest, but you got to go all in. You can't just bullshit around the topic here and there and zigzag with fans, because now it just hurt a little bit, not a ton, but hurt his legacy with the Detroit Lions. And by the way, just come out and say that the Lions suck. Say, look, I can't play for this team. I am wasting my best years. Someone trade for me. Or I'm wasting my best years. I hope something changes. Meet with the front office. Meet with the head coach. Meet with them and say that this is an underachieving team. You can get a good return on investment and a good ROI from me. Trade me to a contender or release me. He said he wanted them to come back. They said he wanted him to come back. That's when you go to the media and you just try to get the hell out and you try to go to a contender because he is a Hall of Fame player. My problem is this was not a Hall of Fame way of going about it. Leave a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to hear all of your thoughts. So let's keep the dialogue going here. Follow me on Twitter, @RickStrom, on Instagram, @RickyStrom, and subscribe to TYT Sports.